I'm now ready to add the top fin because I'm nearly done with my fish. I'm not sure if I want a small one or a bigger one. I'm going to go for the smaller one, so otherwise I feel like the bigger one takes up too much of the fish. And you can do it the same way as you've done the other fins. Just put it down and cut the shape that you want. I want mine to be a little bit more pointy. So you can experiment with different shapes for the top. In fact, I'm going to make mine a bit wavy. You might have a specific fish in mind when you're creating your fish sculpture, or you might just be making creative decisions as you go along, which is fine as well. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. That's how it looks from the side, and I'm just gonna look at it from the top and make sure that it's in the middle, which it wasn't, so I'm glad I checked. Okay, and I'm going to just create some marks where that's going to go. So I'm going to score, and then I'm going to add my slip. Add my top fin. Make sure it's straight and in the correct position. And I'm going to just blend the front and the back in a little bit. And then I will use some excess clay, make sure it's not too dry, to put on the sides, which will help me make this a little bit more secure. So if your piece is not the right shape, you can make it into a little worm and then add it on the side and blend it like we've done previously. Mine's looking a little bit dry, so I'm just going to spray water to smooth it out. Always holding the other side when I'm blending one side. So I want my fin to stay in place. And I don't want to see any lines where I've joined my fins, so just make sure that it's as smooth as possible. And what I mean by lines is there, for example, at the front, you can see where I've joined it, but it's not properly blended. So just take your time and make sure everything is blended as smooth as possible. Okay, and just do the same thing on the other side. Just putting it because it's quite dry. Personally, I just prefer to blend the piece that I'm adding onto the actual fish first and then onto the fin. Just means that it's a little bit more secure and it's not moving around as much. so now I just want to make sure that both sides look the same. I can see this side, the clay goes in a little bit more, so I'm just going to push into my clay on this side, and there might be excess clay because I've not measured the clay that I added. So if there's any excess clay, you can just remove it. And we are nearly done. Just time to add some final details. So before you start to add your details, you now want to make sure that your fish is perfectly smooth everywhere. So take your time. You might feel like if you have some bigger bits of clay on your hands, you might want to wash your hands, even though you'll get clay on your hands again, just to get the big parts of clay off your hands. That will help with smoothing it out. You can also use your rubber kidney. Just make sure that everything looks nice and smooth. Okay, you want to lift your fish up and just have a look from all directions. It might be a bit difficult to hold your fish, but just be careful not to move any of the fins around too much. What you see me do on the sugar paper here is just scraping off the excess clay so that it doesn't transfer when I'm moving on to another section. Okay, so take your time and make sure that your clay fish is smooth